Welcome to Inspiration from the East, where we explore profound insights from ancient wisdom. Let's dive into today's topic. Everybody is looking for peace of mind, but how do we achieve it amidst the chaos of our thoughts? Our minds are constantly active, like a bustling marketplace filled with thoughts, ideas, and emotions. Each thought competes for our attention, creating a cacophony of mental noise. It's easy to get lost in this mental crowd, feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of our inner dialogue. Thoughts come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. They are transient, ever-changing, and often unpredictable. Just as the sky remains unchanged despite the passing clouds, our true self remains constant amidst the flow of thoughts. Just as we are not the clouds, we are not our thoughts. We often identify with our thoughts, believing they define who we are. But in reality, they are just fleeting mental events. We are the observers, the silent witnesses of this mental activity. By taking a step back, we can watch our thoughts without getting entangled in them. Imagine yourself sitting by a flowing river. The water represents your thoughts, constantly moving and changing. Each ripple and wave is a new thought or emotion passing by. The water represents your thoughts, constantly moving and changing. Sometimes the river is calm and serene, other times it is turbulent and chaotic. But no matter its state, it continues to flow. You are not the water, but the observer on the bank. You can watch the thoughts flow by without getting swept away by their current. This perspective allows you to maintain a sense of peace and clarity. You can watch the thoughts flow by without getting swept away by their current. This detachment is not about ignoring or suppressing thoughts, but about recognizing their impermanent nature. This ability to observe our thoughts without judgment is the key to freeing ourselves from their grip. It allows us to respond to situations with greater wisdom and compassion rather than reacting impulsively. When we learn to detach from our thoughts, we realize that we are not our minds. We discover a deeper sense of self that is untouched by the constant chatter of our thoughts. We are something more profound, something beyond the constant chatter of our thoughts. This realization brings a sense of inner peace and freedom, allowing us to live more fully in the present moment. We often mistake our thoughts for our true selves. We get so caught up in the constant chatter of our minds that we forget there is a deeper, more peaceful part of us that exists beyond these thoughts. We identify with our thoughts, beliefs, and opinions, believing that they define who we are. This identification is so strong that it shapes our entire perception of reality. This identification creates a sense of self, an ego that we cling to. We become attached to this constructed identity, fearing that without it, we would be nothing. However, Buddhist teachings tell us that this sense of self is an illusion. It is a mirage created by the mind, a fleeting image that has no true substance. It is a construct of the mind, a collection of thoughts and experiences that we have come to identify with. These thoughts and experiences are like clouds passing through the sky, ever-changing and impermanent. When we cling to this illusory self, we create suffering. We become trapped in a cycle of desire and aversion, constantly seeking to protect and enhance this false identity. Just as a wave is a temporary formation on the surface of the ocean, so too are our thoughts temporary formations in the vastness of our consciousness. They come and go, rising and falling like the tides. They arise, they exist for a time, and then they pass away. Recognizing this impermanence can help us to detach from our thoughts and find a deeper sense of peace. Clinging to them is like trying to hold on to a wave. It is an impossible task that only leads to frustration and suffering. By letting go, we can experience the true nature of our being, which is vast, open, and free. Buddhism teaches that the root of suffering lies in attachment. When we cling to our thoughts, emotions, and desires, we create suffering for ourselves and others. We become attached to things staying the same, to our opinions being right, and to our desires being fulfilled. When our expectations are not met, we experience disappointment, frustration, and anger. When we cling to pleasant experiences, we fear their loss. This constant clinging and aversion keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering. By learning to detach from our thoughts and emotions, we can break free from this cycle. We can learn to experience life with more peace, joy, and equanimity. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It is about becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting carried away by them. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts as they arise, without identifying with them or judging them as good or bad. We simply acknowledge their presence and let them go. Through mindfulness, we develop a sense of spaciousness within our minds. We create a gap between our thoughts and our sense of self, allowing us to see them more clearly and to choose how we respond to them. Take a moment to reflect on what you've learned so far. How do these insights resonate with your own experiences? Think about times when you've observed your thoughts without getting caught up in them. How did that feel? Did you notice a sense of peace or clarity? Perhaps you realized how fleeting your thoughts can be, like clouds passing in the sky. Use this time to connect these teachings to your daily life. When you're ready, let's continue our journey together. Section 5. Cultivating awareness. Recognizing thoughts as transient visitors. Thoughts are like guests visiting our minds. They come and go, sometimes without us even noticing. Some guests are welcome, bringing joy and comfort, while others are not, causing discomfort and unease. However, all guests eventually leave, just as our thoughts do. They are not permanent residents. We don't need to invite every thought in or offer them refreshments. Not every thought deserves our attention. We can simply acknowledge their presence and let them pass by, like clouds drifting across the sky. When we become aware of our thoughts, we can choose not to engage with them. This awareness gives us freedom. We can choose not to believe every thought we have or to act on every impulse. This choice is empowering. We have the power to choose which thoughts we give our attention to, just as we choose what to read or eat. By cultivating awareness, we gain mastery over our minds. This practice strengthens our mental resilience. We become the masters of our thoughts, rather than being enslaved by them. This mastery brings peace and clarity. Section 6. Meditation, finding stillness amidst the mental storm. Meditation is a powerful tool for calming the mind and cultivating awareness. Through regular meditation practice, we train our minds to become more focused, stable, and clear. Just as we exercise our bodies to become stronger, we can exercise our minds through meditation. There are many different types of meditation, but all involve focusing our attention on a single object, such as the breath, a mantra, or an image. When our minds wander, we gently guide our attention back to the object of our meditation. With practice, we become more adept at noticing when our minds have wandered and returning to a state of stillness and clarity. Section 7. The power of non-attachment. Embracing the present moment. Non-attachment does not mean suppressing our thoughts or emotions or denying our experiences. It means letting go of our attachment to them. It means accepting things as they are, without clinging to them or pushing them away. When we practice non-attachment, we free ourselves from the suffering that comes with clinging. We learn to embrace the present moment fully, without dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. In the words of the Buddha, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. Section 8. Cultivating compassion, extending kindness to ourselves and others. When we are free from the tyranny of our thoughts, we are better able to cultivate compassion for ourselves and others. We can see ourselves and others with more clarity and understanding, recognizing that we are all interconnected and deserving of love and kindness. Compassion begins with self-compassion. When we learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, we are better able to extend that same kindness to others. As the Dalai Lama said, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, share, and comment below. Your support helps us bring more insightful content to you. Section 9. The Journey to Inner Peace. A lifelong practice of awareness. The journey to inner peace is a lifelong practice. It is a process of continuous learning, growth, and transformation. It is a journey of awakening to our true nature as peaceful, loving, and wise beings. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and non-attachment, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. We can find joy and contentment in the midst of life's challenges. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that is aware of your thoughts. You are the vastness of the sky, and your thoughts are like clouds passing through.